Hi guys, welcome back. So today we are going over Epcot. So the first thing we're going to do is go over the main ways that you get into the park. So we have the main entrance up here in the front, and if you zoom in you can see the parking lot. So if you're driving your own car to the park, you have the bus drop-off area, and then you also have the monorail. And if you take the monorail, you'll be getting off in the station right here. And then you've got, so if you take any of those types of transportation, you'll be in this main area, which has its own security and ticket center. Now, the other way to get into the park is over on the side of World Showcase Lagoon. Now, the most likely is that if you're coming from Hollywood Studios or one of these resorts over here, so beach, yacht, or boardwalk, you're going to be coming in using the International Gateway, which is this little place right over here. You can either walk to it, or there's a bus or a boat that will drop you off there. And then this has security and ticket scanning as well. So those are the two entrances into the park. This is the only park that has two entrances to it. Every other park has one main entrance area. So as we're looking at Epcot, you can see that there's two main parts. We've got Future World up here, and then we've got World Showcase down here. So when we look at Future World, you've got some pavilions to go through. So we have the Imagination Pavilion right down here. We have Living with the Land, the Sea Pavilion. We have Test Track, Mission Space, and then we have two pavilions that are closed right now. So this used to be Ellen's Energy Adventure, which is turning into Guardians of the Galaxy, and this used to be the Wonders of Life Pavilion, and it has been closed for quite a while now. It's used for festivals, but that's about it. So there's nothing here right now. There's lots of rumors that go around all the time about what's going in here, but for the time being, this isn't used most of the year. So we're going to start with Spaceship Earth, which is sometimes referred to as the golf ball, and it's this building right here. So this has a ride inside of it that goes through human history, and that's about all you need to know of it. It's a great ride to go on. You should definitely do it. It's one of the main attractions of the park. So that is Spaceship Earth, or as I said, sometimes it's referred to as the golf ball. So we're just going to go over a brief explanation of what all the rides are in each pavilion. So with the Seas, we have a Nemo dark ride called the Seas with Nemo and Friends. And then we have a character interactive like thing that's called Turtle Talk with Crush, where so Crush is actually on a screen, but you do talk to him. He does have conversations with the group. It's not an individual thing, it's a small group thing. There's also a restaurant called the Coral Reef Restaurant, which has beautiful views of the tanks where all the fish are kept. So this pavilion does have fish and aquariums that you can also look at. Next we have the Land Pavilion, which has two rides. It has Living with the Land, which is a boat ride that goes over farming technology, but it's actually much more interesting than that sounds. I really enjoy it. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I go on it every trip now. And then we have my favorite ride, which is Soarin'. Soarin' is a hang glider experience where you see different sights from around the world. It's wonderful, and I could do a whole video about Soarin'. I really, really recommend it. Like I said, it's my favorite. And, you know, a lot of people will say that you shouldn't go on it if you have a fear of heights. I have a pretty severe fear of heights, and I've actually been able to enjoy Soarin' for quite a while now. It's all about perspective. I mean, I don't look down. You do go quite high up, and so I don't I don't look down. I kind of convince myself that I'm 5 feet up off the ground. There's nothing to be afraid of. You feel very secure in your seats. And so if you can kind of trick your brain like that, soaring may be something that you can handle. And if you can handle it, I very much recommend it. There's 2 restaurants in the Land Pavilion. So you've got the Garden Grill restaurant and Sunshine Seasons. So we will go over restaurants in another video. Otherwise, this is going to be like a half an hour video. But those are the 2 restaurants. Then we've got the Imagination Pavilion, which has Journey into Imagination with Figment, which is a ride exploring imagination. And then you also have a character experience down here if you have a Disney Visa card. So sometimes down here they also have, yep, there it is, the Pixar Short Film Festival. So this will show some of those shorts that they play at the beginning of Pixar movies. So it's a nice way to kill some time, get a night seated, be seated and relax and be in an air-conditioned area. So moving over into the center area, we have some character meet and greets in this area. We have the character spot, which is Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy. This is a great one to do because it gets your main characters out of the way. You don't need to worry about meeting them separately at a different time. So this is something you want to fast pass or do right away when the park opens, but it is one I really recommend doing. You also will have character meet and greets over here. Right now it's Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps from Zootopia and Baymax. There's also a little area down here called Club Cool, which gives you samples of Coca-Cola products from around the world. So that's a great way to try Coke products and to get a free soda. You have the Fountain View, which is their Starbucks for Epcot. All 4 parks do have a Starbucks. Right over here, we've got Mouse Gears, which is the Emporium of Epcot. So that's right over here. And then, just checking out. Okay. So, and then for the most part, these 2 buildings are empty at this point. I was checking to see if there was anything special in there. Right now, this right here is something for food and wine. So these are empty right now, and there's lots of things talked about what's going to be going in there, but for the time being, these are empty. As I said before, this is going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and this is empty. Then we have Mission Space, which is a space ride that simulates space travel. So there's a green and an orange side. So there's a more tame version and then a more exhilarating, more intense ride. The more intense ride does have G-forces. So that is something to keep in mind, and that's right here. And then we have Test Track. Test Track is a very popular ride along with Soarin'. These are the 2 main rides in Future World. Now, Test Track is a car ride, so you design a car, and then it kind of takes it through simulations of what would a car would go through before it was released to the public. So you get to try things, you know, there's skidding and that kind of thing, and then you get to go 60 miles an hour on this track that you can see right here. So it's a very fun ride, and you get to see how your car that you designed stands up to those tests. So that's over here. This is one you definitely want to fast pass. So that is Future World. This building right here, this is called the Odyssey building because this used to be a restaurant called the Odyssey. It's closed. Sometimes it's used for festivals, but there's nothing here right now. Just so you know, I'm not skipping over a building. So then we're going to go into World Showcase. So let me zoom out for a moment. So then you can see the order of countries. So we've got Canada, the United Kingdom, France, Morocco, Japan, America, Italy, Germany, China, Norway, and Mexico. So we're going to start with Canada. So Canada has a restaurant called Le Cellier, which is a steakhouse, and then they have a show called O Canada, which is a screen show showcasing the beauty of Canada. So those are the main points. And then of course you always have a gift shop area for every country. That's a really nice way to see some of the culture and that kind of thing, because you can really see that through the gift shops. So moving on, we have the United Kingdom, which is right here. So you've got the Rose and Crown pub and dining room. So this is themed after an Irish pub, obviously. Got fish. It has fish and chips and shepherd's pie and that sort of thing. And then you've got the Yorkshire County Fish Shop, so that's just fish and chips right here. You also have a couple character meet and greets. So you've got Alice in Wonderland, who meets up here, and you've got Mary Poppins, who meets back here. Sometimes you will also have a Winnie the Pooh meet and greet back here. So World Showcase is a great area to meet characters because they put them in the countries that those characters are from. So that is an overview of the UK Pavilion. And then moving over, as you can see, there's the International Gateway. We have the France Pavilion. So France has a couple things to note. They've got Impressions de France, which is another screen show that goes over the beauty of France. It's a lovely show. You have a few restaurants. So you've got the Les Halles Patissiere, which has sandwiches and bakery items. You have an ice cream shop right here. You have a bit of more of a high-end French restaurant here, and then you have a normal standard French restaurant right here. And then of course those gift shops, like I said before. For character meet and greets, you've got Aurora normally meets here. I do see that right now it's saying Belle. So that is something to notice, that sometimes they do move characters around, so you want to double check. But I know when I've gone, this has been Aurora's spot, and then Belle has met over here. So you want to double check the app or the times guide that you get when you go into the park, because that can change, but that's what it says on the map right now. So then we have Morocco. So Morocco has a restaurant right over here called Spice Row Table. And then it has a quick service called Tangerine Cafe right here. And then Restaurant Marrakesh is in the back. You have an Aladdin and Jasmine meet and greet back here, which is actually inside. And then you have the gift shops and cultural exhibits that you normally have for all of the pavilions. Also, you'll note that there's a boat stop right here. So there is a boat that goes around. So if you don't want to walk all of World Showcase, you can take a boat. They don't operate all the time, but they are there. The next country we're going to go into is Japan. So for Japan, we have a quick service restaurant right here that serves things like ramen and sushi. We have Tokyo Dining over here, which is another sushi restaurant, but then it also has other Japanese entree dishes. We have Tempura Edido, and I know I said that wrong, and I apologize. That's over here, and that's a hibachi restaurant. We have a downstairs area. So these restaurants are actually on the second floor. You can see the stairs right here. The first floor is a very large gift shop. And then you've got the cultural area right over here. Okay, next we have the America Pavilion. So we've got the America Theater. So the shows for the festivals are shown here, and then sometimes they'll also have other performances there. You've got a little snack booth right here called Fife and Drum. You have Liberty Inn, which is a quick service restaurant or counter service, either or. And then you've also got the American Adventure ride that's right around here. So you see this star right here is talking about a KitKat fun spot. So these are located throughout World Showcase, and they're areas to take your kids where they can learn about the cultures and that sort of thing, and they have little activities to do in each country. So this is where America's is, and there is one in each country. So that is the America Pavilion. Next, we're going into Italy. So Italy has a gelato place right here. You've got Tutto Italiana, which is an Italian restaurant, Tutto Gusto wine cellar, which is a bar that serves meats and cheeses and that sort of thing as well. You've got Via Napoli, which is a wonderful pizza place. It's supposed to have the best pizza on property. And then obviously a little bit of extra theming right here. Then we have Germany. You're going to see the next boat stop location. There's this really cute train station. I'll point that out right here. That's a German train station little thing, so that's fun to look at if you enjoy model trains. So then you have the main restaurant back here, which is a beer garden. So this is a buffet restaurant that has German entertainment as well. And then in the front, there's a quick service German restaurant that serves things like brats and noodle gratin and that sort of thing right over here. Obviously your general gift shops, and then a Snow White meet and greet is right over here. So then moving forward, we have an outpost. So this has a little snack area and a little bit of light theming. Nothing, to spend a ton of time at, but it is there. Next we have China. So China has a full-service Chinese restaurant and a quick-service Chinese restaurant. Their gift shop, their cultural stuff right back here. And then they've got Reflections of China, which is another screen show that goes through China. You also have a Mulan meet and greet. And that, let's see, there we go. So on here, it shows it being right here in this area. When I was there, it was in here. So that is something to keep in mind. Sometimes these can move a little bit. The only one that's really unlikely to move is Snow White because she has a whole wishing well and a whole little setup. So keep in mind that these can move a bit depending on weather and that sort of thing. But this is where it is shown to be, and I know when I was there, it was in here. So moving on from China, we are moving into Norway. So they've got their cultural stuff right here. They've got a quick service restaurant that is the Kringle Bakery Oak Cafe. So that has bakery and then sandwiches. You've got the gift shop area. You have the Arkrich. I'm so sorry about that. I do apologize. That's a horrible pronunciation of that. Royal Banquet Hall. So this is a princess buffet. So this is a opportunity to eat with characters and get to meet them while you're eating. So this is a very popular one. And then you've got Frozen Ever After, which is a Frozen themed ride that is back here. Along with Test Track and Soarin', these are the most popular rides in Epcot. It's a boat ride. It kind of it has songs from Frozen along with newer songs that come out. It's really cute. It's a really fun ride. I actually really enjoyed it. And I'm not a major lover of Frozen. I enjoyed it. I don't hate it, but it was a good ride. And then next to it, you have the Summer House. This is a meet and greet area for Anna and Elsa. So they meet right in here. And then moving on, we have Mexico, which is the last pavilion. So there's a Donald Duck meet and greet right here. There is a couple restaurants in here. So we've got La Cartini, which is a quick service. We have La Halle, and I know these are horrible. I really apologize. So this is a more of a high-end sit-down restaurant. And then within the pyramid, you have some gift shops. You have the cultural stuff. You have the San Angles in Restaurante, which is another Mexican restaurant, and then you have the Grand Fiesta Tour, which is a boat ride that stars the three caballeros, which is a fun thing to do. doesn't take up a lot of time. There's normally no wait. So it's a nice one to do if you've got some free time. And then you've got the margarita stand over here, which is always fun. Over here we have a meet and greet area. Sometimes this is Pluto and sometimes it's Daisy, so we'll see what it lists. It says Daisy right now. So that can change, but that is, when we were there in May, this was Pluto. So another few areas that characters tend to be, they aren't always there. Sometimes Chip and Dale will meet in this area right here. And I know I have seen Pluto meeting right around here, and I bet that's what this is. Yeah. So they're saying that Pluto meets here, and I have seen him in both locations. So it's really important before you go on your trip or before you start looking for characters to get on the apps, get the daily times guide and that sort of thing, and look up and see where the characters are listed as being, because they can move them around, and just because that's where they were when I was there doesn't mean that's where they're going to be when you're there. So that's something to keep in mind. And as you can see, these are the boat stops. So if we zoom out, you can see there's a boat stop here, 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 and here. So that's the circle for it. It is a nice thing to do. This is a fairly long walk. That is a lot of walking to get around World Showcase. So it is nice to have the boat option if you need it. So the only other thing to go over is Illuminations, which is the nighttime show for Epcot. But I'm thinking what I'm going to do is we're going to do a whole show just on the Festival of Fantasy Parade and then the nighttime entertainment. So, but that takes place in World Showcase, and it is going to be changing within the next year or two. They did just announce that they're coming out with a new show. So that is all of Epcot for you, and thank you guys so much for joining me, for liking and commenting and subscribing. I really do appreciate it. So I'm wishing you all a magical day, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.